Hello there. Hopefully we are live and the audio is good, and I'm gonna go over, let me run it again really quick. I guess I should have started that first. Let me run the project really quick. This is what we got. Make this a little bigger. So we have an app that will hopefully launch here. Apparently it's thinking about it. Oh, there we go. So it's just a tab bar, right? You got tab 4, 3, 2, whatever. And then you got your home tab, which just has a navigation stack, and tap on that and you get a detail view, and then the tab bar gets hidden. So it gets hidden because I made a video 2 months ago or so where I made a custom tab bar and it wasn't hiding when you go to the detail view, apparently. I don't remember, but someone did comment on that, and I didn't think about that when I did this because it was this view here is just an overlay. So now it hides, and when it comes back, it has a little animation. I thought that'd be nice. So that's basically what we're doing today, and yeah, I'll go ahead and stop that and pop back over here. So I'm not going to run that again. I'm just going to quit that. We are running the Xcode beta, the 15.2 for 15, probably the latest beta of Xcode, I think. And then what is going on here? Anyway, get distracted. So let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully the audio is good. If not, do let me know, and I will, move the mic closer, tweak audio or something. So here we are with just the bare bones basic beginning of an iOS SwiftUI view, and we're going to add a couple of state properties. I gotta move this anyway because I can't see the keyboard. Hopefully that's good audio. All right, and then we're just going to go ahead and create an @state property, which will be private. It's going to be a variable because we want to change things, and it's just going to be called tab selection. And we're just going to assign it the first tab in our view, and then we're going to have an @state property, which again will be private. Didn't spell var like so. This one's going to be for, is our detail view showing? So is detail, we're not going to say detail view, we're going to go detail, is detail showing like so. There's going to be a Boolean value. Is detail showing true? Code I wrote last night says true. It seems odd, but anyway, we'll keep it at that for now. We'll maybe mess with it later. So there's the two state properties we need. I think we also need a detail view, which I believe we'll just copy this. Well, let's create a new view, make things a little bit cleaner. And we'll just go press in on our keyboard and enter, create a new file. It's a SwiftUI view. We're just gonna left arrow over, hold down function key, hit delete a few times, and then we just go detail. Works pretty good. This one we're going to have a binding to this property. I think that's all we need. And we're just going to go @binding, and it's going to be var is detail, and it's going to be of type bool, and looks good. It's going to complain here, so fix that. Go dot constant, and we're going to go true. And we'll come back to this view at a later date, but thought we'd get started with something we can put in here. And then, let's see, I want to tab view. Why is this acting up? One second. Technical difficulties. Just open this now. All right, sorry about that. All right. Now we'll get back to this. All right, so instead of a VStack here, what we want to do is just make a tab view like so. We will pass in the selection, so selection and go $ tab view or tab selection. And then here we're just going to go ahead and go, for the first one, we're going to do a navigation stack. And inside of the navigation stack, we're going to have a navigation link. So nav link. And we want a destination here. So just type in DEST, enter, enter. We'll go detail view, open is detail showing. And we're going to tie that to the, or bind that to the is detail showing. And then we do our code here. So this is just going to be text show detail. Show detail view. Exclamation mark. Hopefully we'll get something popping up, but it says failed to build. What's this? Insert destination. All right. Command A, Control I, just make sure everything's good. So this is all super basic here. Nothing too fancy, but from there we'll go ahead and go dot tag, and for the tag we'll put 1. So now we'll go ahead and just create a couple more views. We'll go text, open parentheses, close parentheses, and go tab 2. And then we'll just give it a tag, dot tag. I'm just going to put in these really quick. So I got 2. And then you want to add a couple of them. So I'll go copy, go 3 and 4. I'll go 3, 4. Smiley face. Hi. Thanks for accommodating the chat. Sorry if this is a terrible stream. I haven't streamed in a while. Don't think I've posted anything in 2 months. And I haven't really been doing a whole lot of programming lately. So I'm trying to get back into practice. I'm hopefully maybe do some more live streams. Between this one, which is answering the question of hiding a custom tab view bar, whatever it is, was something I got a comment about, so I'm going to try to cover that. And then after this, I'm also going to try to cover some map stuff, and I'll be doing that using did you use OBS to stream on Mac? Yep. Yeah, I use OBS. It's free and relatively easy to use. So that's pretty much what I do. Is audio and everything work? Is the video stream looking okay with OBS? I mean, I guess if it's not, there's not. I'm not gonna. Not a whole lot of other stuff I'm probably gonna pick, but at the moment, alignment. So this is how we get our custom tab views. We're just doing. This is how I do it. I make a tab view and then I make an overlay, and I just align it where I want, which I imagine bottom makes sense. And then we put our custom view here. So custom tab view. Everything is good. Which Mac are you currently using? Yeah, so I've got a first generation MacBook Air M1, which I bought whenever they came out. I think it was got it the first year. But yeah, super simple machine, but it functions just fine. So someday I'll get a super snazzy Mac Studio or something maybe, but not yet. What machines do all you use? Are you on Intel? Are you on M1? Are you on I guess I have M2 now, Silicon, so Apple Silicon, whatever it is. We'll create our custom tab view. And this tab view is going to take a binding to tab selection and is detail. So we're going to come up here. I'm just going to copy these. And we'll just drop them in there. And these are going to be at binding. Binding. And this is just going to be of type int and of type bool. Oh yeah, and I am using the new stuff, so we get this cool new preview. Yeah, fun stuff. So we're just going to dot constant, and we're going to go value of 1, and then dot constant and a value of true. Like that. I think that works. Command B, everything functioning. Sweet. For our tab view, let's see. Oh, I guess this does have a offset as well. All right. Let's go back to our content view. And we want to make add a little logic here to our overlay. So I'll close up this stuff here. So a little more room to focus on. So I can see our overlay, and I also want to see our state properties. So here we're going to write a conditional statement, and it's going to check, is detail view showing? And if that's true, we're going to go custom tab view, open parentheses, and this is going to be $, tab selection. Press the tab key to go to our next property, and we're going to go $, is detail showing. And that's really all we need to do there. But this will be we're going to go option command P. Get our preview up and running again. You get hello world. So you go show detail, still says hello world. Hello world. So it's not working yet, but you could imagine. To get it working, we want to go to our custom tab view. Or actually, do we want to go to our detail view? because our detail view might be the one toggling the, is detail showing binding there. Yeah, and it's doing the toggling. So let's actually go to our detail view, and then on our text property here, we go dot on up here. And in here, we want to go dot, or not dot, I want to go is detail showing dot toggle. So toggle's our property there. Oops. Oh yeah, we're in the detail view. We could go back here. We'll just finish this up. On appear, and then we do an on disappear. Dot on disappear is detail showing dot toggle. And then when we go back here to our preview, to our content view, then we can go show detail. Boom, we don't have that hello world anymore, which is currently what our custom tab bar is. Then we go back, we have it. So it doesn't animate, it doesn't look great. We obviously haven't built out the tab view to be functional in any way, but there you have the hiding and showing of our tab view. So now we can just build out a custom tab view and do some animations and fancy stuff. So let's copy this line here, because we do want to have one state property, and that is gonna be, actually before we go, I'm gonna pin our content view. So when I go over here, I can still, and then you see how these both say preview? That's not very useful. So in our custom tab view, I'm gonna add one state property, and then I'm gonna copy this, and then I think you just go open parenthesis, make a string, paste that in there, custom tab view. And now we got custom tab view, so we can see, oh, this is our custom tab view preview. Then we go over to preview, that's that, but we can make this open parenthesis, boom, put that in there. Name all these views. Bam. Well, it looks pretty snazzy. So now we can actually tell what's what. The custom tab view, content view, and jump between the two. Makes it nice. So let's see, to build this out, first off, we want a Z stack. So we're gonna go Z stack. And then inside of our Z stack, we're gonna use an uneven rounded rectangle, and we're going to just have all of them, I think. Gonna go top leading. This is gonna be 12. I just thought this would make it look, more custom and fancy or something, but, and then we're gonna go bottom leading. It's going to be 42, and then we're going to have, I think, top, or we're going to have bottom trailing. It's going to be 42, and then we're going to have top trailing 12. Close that up. Go Command A, Control I. Make it all properly indented. Oops, put too many colons. All right, now we have this really big, unpleasant looking thing. So that's not, what we want. We're going to go ahead and change a few things. So on our Z stack, we're going to give it a dot padding. And then we're going to give it a dot offset. And if we spell out offset completely and then just press Y, we should just get that value. And we can go Y offset, which is our state property on 13. And then from there, we can go ahead and just go dot on up here. And with the on up here, we want to do a little animation and change the value. So we'll go with animation. And again, new in iOS 17, we get the dot new animation stuff. So a spring animation with a predefined duration and higher amount of bounce. Sounds like a lot of fun. So with that, we're just going to change the Y offset and assign it a value of 32. So obviously this is a really big tab bar. So we're going to give it a frame like so. And we're going to spell out height a little bit, and then we're going to go 80. That looks better. So now we have a nice little tab bar there. And yeah, I wonder if we do dot background. Then we go dot ultra thin material. Yeah, that looks good. I think we're good there. So now we're getting a nice tab bar that pops up, but it doesn't have any buttons or any way to change our tabs, which we do have more tabs, but we can't slide around or do anything. We just got a hidden one, and then it bounces back when it appears. So it goes away, comes back. Now we have our H stack here, and that is where we can go in our Z stack and just go H stack. And we can create a bunch of buttons here for doing whatever. So button, tab selection, assign a value of 1. Excuse me. Then we'll go label. And for our label, we'll just go image system. I think it's called house dot fill. Strings. Okay. So house dot fill. Then we just go dot font and go title. Maybe even make it a large title. I don't know if that's too big. Anyway, make it a title, whatever size you want. I think this looks better when we go dark mode. We go title. All right. Oh, then it gets this ugly. We go dark mode and it gets this ugly looking thing there. So let's look at that. That's not pleasant. All right, so to fix, let's go on the frame, and I think we go clip shape. For our clip shape, we're going to not do a circle. We're just going to use this same shape here. Paste that in there. There we go. Now it doesn't have that just kind of weird looking view there. And we could make this its own view. That could be, I mean, if you wanted to, we could pull this shape out and call it tab background. I don't know. If you wanted, so we don't duplicate the exact same code here as we do here, but I mean, you can do that if you like. So we only have one button for now. Another way of changing a few things is we could grab this, copy, So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That counted all right. And let's see, we can go year, and we could go bell, and we could go this one here. We'll just go ellipsis.message. All right, and there's all our icons. So now we have this one, which is home. We're already at that. We go boom, boom, go message. Oh, that's because they're all assigning one. I'm like, no, it doesn't work. Need to assign different ones. So we'll assign 2, and this is just assigning that different, tags so that it updates to the proper view. So now we go message goes tab 2, tab 3, tab 4. The number's changing there. And then these are all kind of squished together. So we'll go ahead and change that by going dot. And there is, I'm not gonna say probably, there is better ways to do this, but for now we're just gonna do container frame. And for the axes, we're gonna do dot horizontal. And for the count, we're gonna do 5. It's not done. And we're going to give spacing of 0. Grab this so you can see the whole thing. Command 0 there. Gives more room. So we'll just grab this like so. Copy. Paste. Paste and paste. So now our buttons look pretty well laid out. We got 4, 3, 2, and home, show, hide. And it should look good in, yeah, looks fine. So it's adaptive to our color, our color scheme, and it hides when we go to, oops, just hit the mic. Details. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, I guess, let me know. The custom tab bar, and you can, this custom tab bar, you could do whatever you want with a custom tab view. Make it way more stylized and fun than this. This is just a Z stack, so we can make like some backdrop, and then an H stack, which you could cut your H stack out to be a separate thing, and I don't know, do all kinds of crazy stuff. And then we just added some modifiers and some on appear action, just to kind of give it a little fun. And then if we go Command 0 to open up our navigation thing here. Obviously you don't want to do something more with your detail view, but this is kind of toggling our is showing or is not showing. And then your content view, I would say, cut this whole thing out to, extract this out to another view. Let's go extract a SubView and make it home view, and then I would put the tag here because that's just personal preference. You could put it anywhere, I guess. And you come here and call this home view, and then delete that, and then Command A to select everything, Control I, make sure it's all formatted properly. And it's going to say cannot find is detail showing in scope, because is detail showing is right here. So what was it? The custom tab had this is detail showing. I'll just copy that, come over here, and then we're going to go paste that in there. And then it won't complain about that, but we will get a complaint up here because we need to pass in an argument. So let's go fix and go $sign is detail showing. And then you'd probably want to make this its own view because we're not going to have just a bunch of code in one area because that seems messy. So we're going to go in for new and create a new thing here and go paste and enter and boom. And then we're like, the home view is not done. Sorry, just had coffee. It's still, no, it's almost noon. Shit. No, it's almost 11, not almost noon. It's like, oh, it's the morning still. Kind of. Boom. Now we've got stuff. Again, this is missing. When you refactor things, you're like, oh no, that's missing, this is missing. And you just go true. There we go. Go over here. So it's not bad. The tab bar looks kind of cool, possibly. We control if it hides or not, and other stuff. So I did all this in 31 minutes. Nice. It works. Yay. Anywho, any questions or thoughts? Or I'm going to try to do some live streams. Because like I said, I haven't been doing a lot of coding. So last 2 months? Yeah, something like that. Been in between contract stuff, and I've just been doing a lot of, about a year ago, bought a house, and it's an old house. First house I ever bought. Finally saved up to buy a house, and it needs work. So spending kind of time in between contracts and been doing a lot of housework and garden work and repairs. But I need to get back into coding because bills and what have you. So, hey, have you tried the beta version of the Vision Pro? I kind of did. In the sense that I opened up a Vision Pro project and then added a really simple SwiftUI view, but I haven't like dug into it in any meaningful way yet. But I was thinking I did a survey or a YouTube community post, and Vision Pro was like 22% of what people were interested on. Yeah, if you guys like, by the way, I'll post community things and I try to gather information of what everyone wants, and I'll try to build things that people want to see for the most part. I'm going to try to start doing more live streams because I'm getting a bit rusty on code, so I think talking through things and building stuff out would be good. I'm not going to make edited videos because then that just takes a whole nother amount of time for editing, which takes away from programming. So, whereas in live streams, I don't know, I figure anyone that wants to watch me build random stuff, they can. If not, you don't have to. So, yeah, if you're interested in live streams, I'm going to try to get more into doing that and being consistent. And I did this live stream because got a comment about this, so I was trying to answer questions I'm getting in comments for videos. And so hopefully I'll be doing more of that. So if you comment in the community tab, if you comment on videos, I will try to answer that during live streams. And my next one, I'm going to work on MapKit. So I got to go through my comments again, but I have like one or two comments that I was going to address about maps. And I'm also going to use the new MapKit stuff introduced in iOS 17 because it makes doing maps a lot nicer in SwiftUI views. So expect some MapKit stuff hopefully before the end of the week. But yeah, other than that, I don't mind chatting if you guys want to chat, or if everyone wants to chat, ask questions, or if you thought this was I don't know. Are these live streams useful? I don't know. Also, follow me on LinkedIn. I'm going to try to post stuff on there more so I look more professional or something. But yeah, this is blue. I think we could do dot tint, dot mint. There we go. That looks kind of cool. Maybe. I mean, I coded what I was going to code today, so, but now I've got my most viewers on here. It looks like 6 concurrent viewers, so what would you like to see? If you want, I can work on something, or if I'm just rambly, then I'll let everyone get back to hopefully the audio's good. I moved back a little bit. I was also thinking about making a video. I was like, I'm not going to edit videos, but I'm like, I don't want to ramble forever, so I was going to try to sit down and think through a little bit, but maybe write a LinkedIn post or something. I don't know. Try to think about how I think I would architect an app now. By no means am I an architect or senior developer, but I've got some ideas, as does everyone, I'm sure. So I don't know if that'd be interesting, if anyone would be interested in that, but I'm trying to work it out a little bit more in my head. Anywho, I see some viewers, but I'm not getting any live anyone chatting, so I feel like I'm just talking to myself now, so I'll let you all go. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this was helpful, and stay tuned if you like this random stuff, and I'll try to do my next live stream with, do you have tips on learning new, wait, okay, yeah, no, I can talk. Do you have tips on learning? I'm typing a question. Oh, no worries. I'll wait. Yeah. While you're typing a question, I'll wait. I'm not trying to go. I got all day. I can chat. But, yeah, I just I don't want to waste anyone's time. And sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to myself, which I kind of am, I suppose. But, tips on learning. Yeah, I was trying to think about that. A lot of what I've done for learning, I know or I'll let you finish as you're typing a question, so I will let you finish typing that question, and then I'll answer. So I'm not overly talking about stuff. Should I start do you have a tip on learning kits, such as WebKit, PDF Kit, or other kits through documentation? So kits in general, yeah, I think I know people, I use ChatGPT for explanations, but still struggle. Yeah, so I would do, and it's not great, so ChatGPT, I think GPT-4 is better. I had a month of that for a little bit, and it seemed better, but the problem with GPT or anything like that is, especially let's say you get a brand new framework, it's not gonna know a whole bunch about it, but you can feed it documentation, and I use it to do build out kind of more boring code maybe or something, and it seems to work pretty good. Like I can have it build out dummy data for JSON, or I can say, hey, I want you to build out some model data, which I say I just want it to be structs, or maybe I want it to be classes and can conform to add model, or maybe model's not a protocol, it's a macro, the new stuff, and I'll feed it some documentation, like copy and paste and do that. But for learning, sometimes ChatGPT and other stuff like that can be a little more frustrating or go down just weird paths. So I think that would be better when you kind of have an understanding a little bit of what you want, and then you can kind of better direct it, or like give it a little more detail on how to generate the code or explain things, and I do use generative AI. I think it's a lot of fun, but it's not something you can rely on as being factual or because it'll easily just generate nonsense as well as it generates useful information. So for learning, I would say with frameworks or kits is just try to, like if we open a new window here, if we go, let me open a Safari window and pull up some documentation. But if we go here and we go developerapple.com, and we'll open up like a ChatGPT thing maybe too and feed it. Oh, here's an SDK. So here's Xcode, Swift, SwiftUI. Let's go Swift data. Read more about Swift data. So here at model your data, and what I would use ChatGPT to do is something like this: create models with Swift. I'd copy this, and this is not for learning. This is more for login. Good thing that's all just dots. Your goal, our goal, blah, blah. Yeah, that's great. Fantastic. Memory constraints. Look at that. All kinds of random stuff. But if you did paste this in here, and then I would just do quote mark there. Let me know if this is answering the question or if I'm going off in the wrong way. So create models with Swift for a recipe, or let's say a garden plant app. Create models. So I just change that a little bit, and then I give it this as like a reference so that it'll do this. And I would format it like that, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, obviously Apple didn't do it that way, but so I give it some Apple documentation. Share a link. No, that's fine. And then except it did it the other way. Weird. But now it kind of knows, okay, the documentation, I gave it the right stuff, but then it's kind of going through plants and needs a plants array. And for here, it has species description, care instructions, image URL. I don't know why it keeps adding a space after the second one, but yeah, so I give it something from Apple, a little bit of detail and a reference, and then I ask it to then I specify kind of what I want. Well, I want a plant app. I could say also add, and then I'll go back to, meal model for plants harvested, and then it does that. So model, I have to double check all this, but this is the new like Swift data stuff. Actually, that's what I clicked on. So now I can get all this, I can copy it, and then I can work from there. But that's not really learning. I guess that's just using it to kind of build stuff out or features more quickly. For learning, I wouldn't necessarily use ChatGPT or any of the other ones, because I know Hugging Face has one now. I would more on the documentation side. So reading through here with the model and with no additional tools, does it say Swift data can automatically infer? Well, I'd have to go more to like the Swift data documentation because it's an overview. But if you went to the actual documentation, I prefix everything with Apple space and then the framework or the language feature or the framework. I prefix with Apple first because then I can go to Swift data, which took me back to here. I want the actual documentation. Well, there's some links to videos. Here's some sample code. Okay, read documentation. And then it takes you here. This is more useful. So when you read here, you can go and you can actually click on what model is. converts a Swift class into a stored model, and what it should give you, what I would be looking for, oh, I guess it says right here. So look right here. So macro, and then you copy that, come over here, and you could ask ChatGPT, but I don't think it's gonna know, because the last version was updated May 24th, and this isn't live up, fed new information live. So what is a macro in Swift? And it's probably going to give me useless information. In Swift, macro refers to a feature called compiler directives or build time conditional completion directives. I have to look into macros more, but I don't know if that's true or not. So what I would do is I would actually just go Swift and then macros, applying macros, and then start looking into the specific language features the frameworks use. So I think and this will take you to developer.com documentation Swift. So specifically, because if I took off, yeah, that was useless. So yeah, and then maybe use copy and paste some of this into GPT and say, explain this in simple terms, or try to break this down or something. Use it that way. Anyway, I apologize. Yeah. Okay, let me leave. I'm way past the comments. Sorry if I went off on something there. But basically, I try to start, and this is what I'm trying to do better, is back. So I'll try to wrap this up. Sorry, I'm going way off on a thing here. So when I first started learning how to program years ago, I copied and pasted a lot of code, and then I'd get a bunch of warnings from Xcode, and I wouldn't understand them, and I wasn't building the things out myself, and that slowed me down for a while. So I would spend a lot of time trying to look at official documentation from Apple, and then try to write out things. And once I had to start building things out and writing them out myself, I started to get a better understanding. And then on top of that, I would try to find some sources like there's of course Paul Hudson, there's spacing, but there's like a whole bunch of blogs. If you want me to make like a video on like good learning resources, I should do that. But I mean, they're all the big names in like teaching and programming, but that could help explain it. But it would be reading documentation, reading reliable blogs and sources, and then practicing out, because once you read through it, practice yourself, and then do it like tiny steps at a time, and try to see what it's actually doing. Because then you start figuring out, because you can read over some of the stuff and you're like, I don't get this. You write it out and then run it and test it in a playground or in an app. And you do just like chunks at a time, maybe add breakpoints for things here, and see, oh wow, that the app was running and then it stopped on line 43. Okay, so something's changing or something's happening. But let me read the feedback. Sorry if I went off on a, don't know if I answered the question. Apologize. Okay, I used ChatGPT. Thank you for doing this tutorial. Oh, no worries. For the thank you and the tutorial. No worries. Hopefully this stuff's useful. This is another thing, is also if you're learning something, make a video about it or write an article about it and try to explain it to someone else. And then you'll start seeing, you're like, oh wow, I really suck at explaining that. And you'll start seeing, wow, if you can't explain it well, if you have a hard time where you're always stopping, like, okay, I can't explain this very well, you're probably not understanding it super well. Apple documentation is, yeah, it's, It definitely can be. I but especially when brand new things come out, like I know people complain, but there's a little Apple documentation sometimes all you've got. Um, so yeah, let's see. So in a way, use a combination of ChatGPT for small explanations with documentation. Yeah, I think that'd be a good mix of using some feeding ChatGPT documentation and seeing what it comes out with, and then experimenting it yourself, and then testing the actual code. Because we can copy whatever ChatGPT generated, paste into Xcode, see what the errors are. You might Google those, or you might feed those errors back into ChatGPT. But then, and I know reading Xcode errors can sometimes be super confusing and unpleasant. But yeah, I think it can be useful. But yeah. What do you have in you already mentioned some frameworks. WebKit, PDFKit, or other kits through documentation. Yeah, and then another reason I would start with like the documentation is, you can you go in the documentation, you find something like they don't have a lot on, you go macros. So macros, you click on macros, it takes you to the Swift standard library. So if you go Swift standard library, and you can start finding all kinds of stuff in here, and just going back further to more basic stuff, and you can start reading through some of this. But then you can also go to like see, I don't know enough about macros. I'm like, this is interesting. Generating compile time. Yeah, I need to look into this. I honestly need to look into macros. I want to look into probably Swift concurrency more, which I haven't done. Like the new feature that's been out for a year or two now. So I haven't done too much with that. But probably just get a better understanding of the Swift standard library, and then finding reliable sources like Donnie. This guy's really good. And maybe you're not like, I don't 100% sure understand what he's talking about when he talks about binding and bindable. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Rive animation. Let me try it. Let me look into that, and would it be interest? I know, it's like, don't reinvent the wheel. But I am curious if, see if I spelled that right, iOS. Rive animation, iOS, macOS. This guide documents how to get started using iOS. GitHub repository. Is there any like little examples? Class. Oh, IB outlet. This is like, does this work with SwiftUI, or is it just like a UI kit thing? Welcome to Rive. If you're interested in animations, we could start looking into a lot of the new animations, like SwiftUI and iOS 17. It's got a whole bunch of new animation stuff, and I've played around with like the phase animator, and that's super cool. So I haven't even got into the more advanced stuff, but if we start getting into more animations, that'd be interesting. But build out our own. This is what I was thinking also, is like building out a lot of Swift packages for very specific tasks, and then I could start putting something useful up on GitHub maybe, and then actually have like yeah, maybe I have to look into this and then see about building out some cool stuff. I don't know. Lots of ideas, so I gotta come up with things. Are these live streams good for like learning? So I gotta get better at answering questions more succinctly instead of going off on randomness, but yeah, I'll have to check this out. Huh, I'll look into this. But yeah. Yeah, we start out with this. Let's go to YouTube really quick. Because put out a community post. I don't know how you find this planet. There it is. Oh, look at that. It's live. No. Put out some more posts like, oh, do I not see because I didn't vote? Yep. Swift data was the biggest one. Vision OS. Did I add animations? I don't know. Yeah. Comment on some of this stuff and we'll try to build out some more interesting things. Okay, sweet. Well, I'm going to try to start doing more consistent live streams. Right now I'm kind of in between contracts, so I have time as long as I focus, but I've been distracted with yard and repairs. So but I need to get back into coding more frequently and more daily. So, better for getting new contract work and stuff for a full-time job or something. So I think I'm going to try to start doing more live streams. And feel free to ask questions because I'll try to explain it. Or if I can't, I'll try to look into it more and explain it in another live stream. So, yeah, hopefully that'll be helpful. But anywho, hopefully it wasn't too rambly. And maybe I'll look into this and see if we can pull off similar animations using just SwiftUI animations. SwiftUI animations. Because I don't know if you looked into all the new stuff they're doing with all the new animation stuff they introduced. Oh, there's a tutorial. I don't want the tutorial, I want the actual documentation. There we go. Animations. Got a whole bunch of new beta stuff. I don't, but would it be useful to stream it? I've been thinking about doing it every day because I need to practice just, sitting down, typing out code and actually, I want to get better at typing out code live while people ask questions so that then I'm forced to explain things. Like I said, I think that would also be really good to learn because you'll start figuring out where you definitely need to, like, wow, I really didn't answer that question. I should probably make a note of that and go back and learn that topic a little more and then try to explain it. So I'm trying to get better at just like typing out code live, explaining things, and getting to more advanced stuff because I need to learn, I need to get better at Swift generics, type aliases. I want to learn about macros. They seem super interesting, but I haven't looked into them much, so I'm not 100% sure what they do yet. I'm kind of not sure on that. I want to get better at generics and protocols and make more generic, reusable Swift. I was doing Swift packages a couple years ago and I really liked it, but then I kind of didn't do it for the last year and a half or so working on my latest contract. And I want to get back into that and building reusable components that we can use throughout app development. So if I started doing daily live streams, kind of getting into that kind of stuff, would that be helpful? I'm also going to play around with a lot of the new iOS 17 features because they also got the new charts with the pie charts and they got the new other stuff that I can't think of off the top of my head. But if daily live streams would be useful, yeah, go back to my channel and then on that community or on this video afterwards, like comment or something, and I'll try to start doing like what's a good time, or I'll put a post up. Would it be helpful to put up like a post? What's good time for everyone to start doing daily live streams? It's summer break, so my kids are running around too, so it's a little noisier, but I think it'd be interesting to do. Because then it would force me to actually every day have something new to talk about and build out on. But yeah. Sorry if it's 11:24 here. So I don't know if mornings are good or that would be awesome, man. Nice. Is this a good time? If I did like mornings, my time it's morning. I'm in the West Coast, so Pacific time zone. I'll put up like a little thing in the community tab today, kind of asking general times for live streams, and then I encourage anyone to mention topics. So I'll say something like live streams and list off some time zones, but then encourage anyone to say, okay, well, this time zone in, whatever, time zones. Oh, you're in Texas? No, just find out. So you're Central Time? So Central Time is what, 2 hours ahead? Pacific Time to Central Time. PT, CD, so 1 to 3, yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, okay. Get on around 3 to 7 here in Houston. 3 to 7. Well, if it's 11, okay. So maybe do, what time is it? Is it in 1:26? So a little bit later, perhaps. Maybe if I did something at 1, that'd be 2, 3. Yeah, that'd be 3 p.m. there. Yeah, I'll play around with different times. And I'll try to start coming up with more interesting topics on SwiftUI, Swift data. Again, maybe look into Swift concurrency or work on combine still. And then just try to come up with programming more generic, reusable Swift packages and start actually putting some stuff on my GitHub. Could be interesting. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for being super interactive with the, like, actually chatting and stuff with the live streams, Ruben, and Burek, apologies for my name. I also see those from India, if that's some. Yeah, I'll put up a community post later today and kind of ask general time zones. And then, yeah, we'll try to figure out how to build out code. Also, be curious, I had for a month or two, I had, Mobbin, or whatever it is, subscription, which is like where you can look at like app flow UI and stuff. So it's like, would it be interesting if we actually started building out like actual UI components from real apps? Because I've got Lyft and Fable and Yelp and OpenTable and HBO and DoorDash and Disney Plus and a couple of these apps so we can download and try to like build out real components and try to deal with real logic. But I was thinking the Yelp one might be interesting because especially with SwiftUI in iOS 17 came out with a feature I've been wanting for years that UI collection views had for I don't know how long now, probably years. Where's the UI component? I'm trying to find the UI component that I was thinking about. Oh, there you go. Something like, open and preview. Something like this. Or maybe you can't see it very well, but there's a card here and then you slide through. But scroll views are now super easy to do that in iOS 17. So I was thinking that could be interesting. And then it deals with MapKit, which it seems like it's pretty popular. My little bit of MapKit videos. So, and then we would actually be dealing with a real API because like I said, I think OpenTable has. You can get an API key or something. I'll have to look into it. But yeah. I would probably use CloudKit if I was going to do some sort of offline database. But I haven't really used either one, so could go either way on that. But on something like this, I would do... Well, on this, I'd probably just use... I think Yelp has a API. Yelp API. Yelp for developer. Oh, getting started right there. Is it? They have a REST API to help connect consumers. Yelp Fusion. Explore Yelp Fusion. Yelp Fusion is designed for all kinds of consumer products, services, search engines, mapping, voice, blah, blah, blah. Business search phone. Getting started. Oh, the SL search, get started getting started with Fusion API, or get started with the old GraphQL. Open a new tab. Yelp Fusion. I'm trying to see if the authentication. The Yelp Fusion API uses a private key authentication. So yeah, maybe we just start doing this. Start building it, because then we'd be working with, REST and stuff like that. RESTful services and things you do in a, real job, and then populating maps and views and doing all that. So that could be something. And we don't have to make up a bunch of fake data, which is always a pain. Next stream. I'll look into the API stuff and see. Maybe, because I was going to try to answer some questions I got on some map stuff. And so maybe I'll do that and then I'll do this. But maybe I'll look into the authentication guide. And yeah, it looks like just API keys, which is usually pretty straightforward. Oops. Except I think my dog needs a walk. Yeah, I'll look into this, and maybe in the next live stream or two, we will start building out. I'll start coming up with an idea or plan to start building this out. But I am going to go because my dog needs to go on a walk, and my computer's getting low. That's the one downside with the first gen MacBook Air. It's got 2 ports, so I've got my mic plugged in and my external display plugged in, and no charger. But yeah, I will post some stuff on the community tab and look into some APIs. All right. Well, thank you, and see you all tomorrow in some sort of live stream. Don't know what we'll be coding out yet. Nice. See you. Let me go.